This is Smiles TV. Welcome to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm Stephanie Anthony Miles, and we have the best show ever today. We're going to be talking with the BosmanTwins from St. Louis, Missouri. Remember, Jesus Christ was born of a virgin. He was crucified and buried, and he rose on the third day. Confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord. Believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, and thou shalt be saved. Stay tuned for more smiles.
Much better, Dwight.
What's his dad?
You got it, son. You keep this up, you both gonna make it.
Dwayne and Dwight Bosman, thank you for coming to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm just so elated to have you sitting here, right here with me.
Thank you, Stephanie. We're all smiles.
Okay.
Stephanie, it's our pleasure being here, and we love Smiles TV.
Sure.
You know what? That we're going to have to caption that. We're going to have to put that in a commercial, and we're going to loosen up a little bit, loosen up your tie, son, because we're going to talk about you and your life and what you're doing and where you're going. Tell me this. Being twins, go back to your youth. Did you guys play those twin games?
Well, you want to answer that, Dwight?
Well, certainly we played the twin games because it was too much fun to not play the twin games. So one of us, we'd get in trouble, and they'd say, which one of you did it? And I'd say, it was him. He'd say, it was him.
Okay.
Say, well, we'll get both of you, so we'd both be in trouble, that's all.
Wow. So today, do you play any games today, being twins?
Well, now we're older and we don't look the same like we did when we were younger.
Okay. What's in store for you now? You've done a lot of things. You've been all over the world. You got music just flowing. What things are in store for you in the future?
Well, I want to say that we're looking forward to, in 2019, getting back in the studio because it's time to do a new release and a new album. So the course will be writing music and connecting with musicians and getting back in the studio and get a new product out. We've worked quite well off the last CD, which is When Lions Roar CD. And from that, there are so many tunes on it that people like. But we're looking forward to what's next. And that's it. Dwayne, would you like to say something about that?
Well, Dwight told the truth. We will be writing. But writing is an experience for us because, like, I can't just sit down and write a tune and say I'm going to write a Latin tune or this is going to be it's going to be a swing. It's just whatever comes to mind. And sometimes you get caught up because you have bits and pieces here, bits and pieces there, and they don't really connect. but you never really throw them away, because sometimes you'll have some other things. You can find this piece and put it with that. Maybe go back 2 years and find something and put that with that, and still make a composition. So you want to hold on to those ideas. You might not be able to elaborate right now, but later we might.
And sometimes we have an idea, but someone else has another idea. When we fuse them together, it becomes really nice, you know, and you don't have to work so hard. Also.
Are you both teachers, or Dwight?
Well, I did teach for 32 years, off and on, with leave of absences periodically, but 32 years of that, and that's past me now, beyond me now. Now, except that we look forward to doing maybe artist in residence, and workshops and things like that with kids. But we've done that part of it.
You know, I worked in St. Louis Public Schools, but not always as a teacher. However, I was music director at Crossroads College Prep, and that's where I retired from that. We spent a lot of times working with students in the past, years back, you know, Marquette Visual and Performing Arts, and
Dwayne, also, we did the St. Louis Symphony Community Music Schools. We taught for that, and that was bought out by Webster Community Schools, and we taught for Webster Community Schools as well. And we did private lessons individually on our own, aside from that.
That's really excellent. That's a good point, because so many people don't give back to the community. What are your thoughts about jazz in the African American community, and how can we make it a little bit more pronounced within our community?
Well, this is something we were thinking about in 2019, because you have some projects already out with jazz. East St. Louis has some good fine jazz, and over there at Riverview in St. Louis and other things, but I still don't think there's enough in the community. I would like to, my vision is I would like to work with some students who were serious, high school and middle school, who are serious and have a big band, a jazz band, and break it down into combos. But I would like to do something a little different from totally what they're doing, what I see everybody else doing. So this is just a vision of BosmanTwins. And I think it would be very positive.
Something we did not talk about, your other family. You also have children of your own. Tell us a little about your family's life.
I have a daughter and a son. My son is older. He's in Atlanta, and he's a saxophonist as well. And he plays at the largest airport in the country, and the busiest, which is Hartsfield. He plays in the airport as well. So he gigs there, but he also gigs with his own group around Atlanta, in and out of town, and you know, he works all the time.
Was he expected to play music?
Well, I mean, we exposed him. We wanted to give him the same experiences we had when we came up. Everybody in our house had to play. So he had an opportunity to play music, and I really was not expecting him to become a professional musician necessarily, but to have the ability. He chose to do that, and it was kind of surprising. And also when my daughter did the same thing. So he plays sax, and my daughter plays flute and piccolo and piano and ukulele, and she sings and writes. So she's writes and produces, and she's in Nashville, so he's in Atlanta, and so getting us all together is fun. So you can pull them up. Dwan Bosman, D-W-A-N, and Morgan Bosman.
That's shameless. Go ahead, look right into the camera and tell them how to get in touch with them. Really, that's good.
Yes, so
your baby is?
Morgan Bosman, and from Atlanta, and you can find her on YouTube or
Morgan's Nashville.
Nashville. What did I say?
You said Atlanta, but it's all right.
Dwan is in Atlanta, and Morgan is in Nashville. Good.
Okay, and Dwayne, your wife. I've been working with Pat for a little while, trying to get something settled and coming together with the broadcast. So tell us about.
I have 5 kids.
Your family.
However, they're from different areas. So I have twin girls. That's the youngest. They're in Houston, Texas. I have a daughter, Daisha, here, and a son we just saw yesterday. We appeared in Chicago. So he's in Chicago, and Gary, Indiana. He's back and forth there. And then I have a son in California.
Okay. Tell you what, we need to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about what you guys are doing and where you're going from here. And I'll tell you some of the things that's going on with Smiles, because we have someone who produced our intro that I think you may be familiar with, and we'll just talk about that a little bit.
All right.
Don't go away. We're sitting here with the Bosman twins. Stay tuned for more Smiles.
If you're tired of wandering in the wilderness of obesity, God is ready to usher you into the promised land of healthy and fit for life. Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries is a nonprofit organization dedicated to teaching the biblical principles for maintaining a healthy body for the glory of God. Join our free 12-week health and fitness course for both adults and children in person or online via Periscope. No registration fees or membership fees, just the purchase of the Eating as an Act of Worship workbook. So sign up today. To register, visit our website at www.eatingasanactofworshipministries.org and tune in to the Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries radio show Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time on Studio W Buzz.
When you visit Big Mama's in East St. Louis, Illinois, located at 5900 St. Clair Avenue, you will need a fork and a bib. Big Mama's is known for their barbecue, cakes, excellent service, and giving back to the community. Call in, eat in, drive through, carry out, order for your office. You can call Big Mama's at 618-398-8950 or visit 5900 St. Clair Avenue in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Hi, my name is Sterling Moody. I'm the owner of Neighbors Market, 1005 North 15th Street, on the Echo Jazz building across from Emerson Park Metrolink stop. We have fresh barbecue Friday and Saturdays. We have Sunday through Saturday, open from 7 to 7. Look forward to seeing you in the store.
The piece that we led into, it's called Many Moons.
That's correct.
And that's something that you also wrote.
Yes, I wrote it, and I did a collaboration with Daryl Darton, who's a guitarist originally from here. He's in California. And we do some collaborating. We've written several tunes together. I write separately, but we write tunes together too. He's a very fine musician. And I think you'll enjoy the selection. The tune is on YouTube. You can catch it on there. And audiences love it, and it's doing well on the radio, the jazz radio stations.
Okay. You know what? Twins. I keep going back to that. I wonder why, right? But being twins, there are some differences, I'm sure. So what are the differences, and how does that play out on stage?
Well, I like to say that we play different instruments, but some of the same as well. On stage, I will generally play soprano saxophones, one in C, which I like rare instruments, is a shorter soprano saxophone, straight, and a curved B flat in saxophone, soprano, and then altos and baritone sax and flute. And so the baritone sax adds the lower dimension. Now, Dwayne does play these instruments as well, but generally on stage he's playing primarily other instruments. So, Dwayne, what you want to say? Tell what you do.
A lot of times, if Dwight is on alto, I'm on tenor, or if he's on baritone sax, I'm on tenor, or I may change to alto sax. The main thing about us in music, that's your voice. So how you identify a person is through their voice, their character, their sound, their pitch. Okay, so we have two different personalities, and the personalities come out in the music. If we played the same, if we were trying to be exactly the same, like twins, you want to be identical, then it wouldn't. I don't think people would enjoy us as much because it's too much alike. Our characters are different, our personalities are different, so it enhances one another, so we could complement each other.
Question, so Dwight, would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Well, I consider myself an introvert, but I think Dwayne talks more. No, I'm only kidding. I'm an extrovert.
And I am too.
Our sounds,
You're both extroverts.
Right.
I want to get back to our sounds. Dwayne made a very good point of that. However, it's like apples and oranges. They're both fruit, but they're different. An apple looks like this and tastes like that. An orange looks, orange and round and it's juicy and that kind of thing. But they're still fruit, but they're different. And that's how we complement each other, like an apple and an orange.
So in other words, our styles are different.
Right, but they
accompany each other.
Out of the same bag, but different.
You know what? You guys need a show. You need your own television show, and you need to have a segment on Smiles TV.
Well, we would definitely be interested, maybe coming in and talking about jazz and some of the different musicians and artists and some of the youth that are out here performing and doing things, what their ideas are, maybe some suggestions of what to look for. For example, when we talk to the youth, when I talk to people, if you're serious about the music, first of all, you have to love it. Because you cannot fake the funk. You either love it or you don't. But if you want to be halfway, you guys, I've seen excellent musicians and artists, but they quit. They start, stop. You can't do that. You have to stay true to it, whether you're making money or you aren't.
But
the whole objective is to make a living doing what you do, but you must love it. And I look at it spiritually too, We pray about, thank you, Lord, for giving me these gifts and help me to be more accomplished and keep me whole in soul, in mind and body and spirit. And so when you play, it's a lot easier for you to do that. We spend a lot of hours to make it look easy on stage, but people don't see. Like a lot of times everybody's asleep. I practice most of the night.
Dwight, you were about to say.
I was going to just compliment Dwayne in saying that the TV show is a great idea. One of the things that I would envision of that would be listening to maybe new artists with something that they're doing, and that we could maybe explain what we're hearing, and pointing out things that we think are very positive about it, give them some encouragement to continue, as Dwayne was saying, because they need that encouragement, but they also need, maybe we can be mentors to some young artists coming up as well.
That would be excellent. And do you think jazz is an acquired taste? Do you have, I know you have to be exposed to it. Let me give you an example. For example, I love jazz, right? But I didn't know a lot about jazz. And I have a friend, Kevin Ellis, who's with Dreaming in Color. Started a band. He used to practice in my dad's garage. And he went on and started this great band, and now they're international. He hooked up with Jeff Lorber. So one day I called Kevin. I said, Kevin, I need an intro for my show. And he said, okay. And then he sent something to me. He said, now, Jeff Lorber produced that. I said, okay. He said, no, Google him. So I did. And I didn't know this guy who produced the song, Kevin wrote it. This guy has produced songs for Janet Jackson, Frank Sinatra, Kenny G, just the whole gambit. And I'm telling this story to say that although I love jazz, I didn't really understand the the history of some of the people who are prominent
Mm-hmm.
in it. Now let's bring it back. How do we get that to the people? How do we help others to appreciate the art a little bit more?
You have to expose them to it a little bit more. See, a lot of times people don't hear the music as much. When you turn on the radio, there are very few jazz stations now, like there used to be more, but there aren't many now. And so a lot of music, you hear hip hop, you hear this, that, and all of it is good. These genres, however, they have to be exposed to listening and hearing and seeing artists performing jazz, composing jazz, and experiencing it, you know.
That's very true. If they don't see it, then
Or hear it.
if they don't see it or hear it, that's not a part of their mindset. We look at the Grammys, which is the epitome of what the awards should be for, supposedly, for artistry. We don't see anything in jazz. I mean, it's not even presented on the Grammys, and we belong to the Grammy
That's true.
Academy as well, Dwayne and I.
Jazz nor classical music.
But you won't see jazz, classical, it used to be on there, but it's not there. Gospel music used to be on there, and I don't see it now. And classical music is not on it. So those aren't considered mainstreams because it's not on regular radio. It's not on regular FM. There's a station in the Midwest in this area, WSIE, that does jazz programming, but it's not all jazz.
Right.
And in many other cities, it's the same way. There's no jazz station, or it's not full time. So if you don't hear it or see it regularly, they just don't know. So they have to be exposed.
And I think the way we get kids involved, education is so important. That's why some people understand they're trying to get kids hooked up. You must teach them about the history. As an example, if you want to learn classical music, you go to the symphony and they'll tell you something about, before you go, about Beethoven or Mozart, etc.
Brahms,
So now we teach our kids about Duke Ellington, Count Basie, and people like that, Roy Hargrove, Miles Davis. If you can take the time and not only show them, have them listen to the music, but also something about their life, their upbringing, their exposure, and how they got turned on to the arts, and how much time it took, what direction did they go, who were some of their teachers, and
Right. But,
mentors.
And looking at the clip that we showed, you guys were with your dad, and we know they may not know, but he had a great history with some of the jazz greats. So it started in the home.
Right.
It started at home. So, so we have to go back to the elementary stages and start the kids when they're very, very young.
Yes. Because when they get older, if they haven't been exposed, it's harder them to feel comfortable with it. But when they start early, it's just
automatic.
part of it's automatic. But I think that jazz is improvisation of three main elements. It's improvisation of melody, it's improvisation of harmony, and it's improvisation of rhythm. So to improvise on all three of those elements, you may have good music with just two of them or one of them, but I think it encompasses all three. And then you also have to throw in the element of feeling pulsating from here, from the heart and the soul and the feel of the music, not because it could be politically correct. The chord changes could be correct and all of that, but if it doesn't have the feel, it doesn't have that groove, it's not natural.
Well, see, improvisation is make up as you go along to create. Okay, in hip hop, that's a form of jazz too, because they're improvising. And I can hear some of those same things, the rhythms that they're doing. You can play that on an instrument. And if you get the vision, we can teach them the vision. They'll have a better concept, and it may pull them in a lot easier. They'll enjoy and appreciate it a lot more, have a better understanding for what direction they want. First, you must teach people or students, you must teach them basic music, and then you expose them to the different genres.
And additionally to that, they need to learn to be individualists, because there are a lot of artists that copy. Imitation is the biggest form of flattery, but it says nothing for creativity. So if they learn to imitate to the point of, okay, I know what they're doing, I know how to do what they're doing. Now, what do you do differently? And we think about, like, we are instrumentalists, we're wind players, and what we do is we try to sing through the instruments, and the only natural
And
instrument you
hear that
have is
too.
the human voice.
Right.
And so
right.
if we emulate anything, the instrument of the human voice is making something as mechanical sound natural and sing through it. But we know who, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Nat King Cole, Luther Vandross. We know all these people. We know their sounds, and we can identify with them. James Brown by their sound. You can hear 5 notes and know who they are, or 3 notes and know who automatically they are. So learning our own voices is what's really important. What we sound like, and who we are, and other people knowing, oh, those are the Bosman twins.
Now, Stephanie, you asked a good question. You asked, what is different about us? Well, collectively, the two of us, what's different about the Bosman twins, we don't sound like any other sax players that I know. We don't sound like any other reed players. We have our own style. You either like it or you don't. And that's good, because that's the importance of the arts. It's not for everybody to like. It's for enough people. We can look at a painting and you can have 20 people that tell you they see something different. I see this, I see that. Some will see the same things. Some will like it, some will not. And that's perspective.
Wow, you know what? I wish we could sit here all day and continue to talk. You guys sing?
No, I wish I could.
I'm still trying to learn how to talk.
But we do scat.
You do scat, okay.
Scat sing.
We're going to have to wrap this up, but I want to thank you again for taking time to come to Smiles TV, and we will do some segments together, because I think it's important for the community.
We'd like to come back and do some other things with you. I've had a wonderful experience today.
Well, thank you.
I've enjoyed it. Stephanie, you are wonderful, and Smiles TV is what it's all about. And we encourage everybody to check out Smiles TV.
Thank you so much for that commercial, and we want to thank you for tuning in to Smiles Television. You can catch us on the P. Chapman app, download it. We're on Amazon, Roku, just the PlayStation, anywhere. Dynasty Television. Keep smiling. You look better when you smile, and remember, only what you do for Christ will last. And Jesus is the Lord. The Lord be magnified.
The Smiles Television Talk Show wants to showcase your business, organization, church, and activities. If you have an interest in being a guest on Smiles Television Talk Show, or if you have any show ideas, contact Stephanie Anthony Miles at smilestv777@gmail.com. You may also call 618-741-3770. Tell your friends to subscribe to the Smiles YouTube channel. Let Smiles TV increase your reach. Remember, you look better with smiles. IDEX Media does a lot. From IDEX Photography to IDEX Films. We help create forever memories and forever impressions. Imagination, image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, baby.
Do you remember when we fell in love?
Who kids it up?
Those are baby kids.
Safe, and you want to be safe. There is no smoking you out of this comfortable.
We fall down, but we get up. Put your pinky rings up to the moon.
Those who do what they have to, so they can do what they want. And then there's those that do what they want, so they'll do what they have to.
It's absent for so long, you reach and you question, why have you forsaken me? But then
Best show of all time today. And you know why? Because we have the world's greatest female athlete, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, and then right here from East St. Louis, Illinois.
DJ Nothing Nice introducing Junior Boy off of that non-stop grind record with his hit single, Oh, Oh, Oh. You already know DJ's on the man, his family, man. It's your boy DJ Nothing Nice. Let's go.
Project Outreach is a training and development 501c3 organization that specifically works with veterans, aging out youth, and justice-involved individuals. The program reduces homelessness, recidivism, and crime by
Hi, my name is Sterling Moody. I'm the owner of Neighbors Market, 1005 North 15th Street, on the Echo Jazz building across from Emerson Park Metrolink stop. We have fresh barbecue Friday and Saturdays, We have Sunday through Saturday, open from 7 to 7. Look forward to seeing you in the store.